everyone, welcome to Not Too Shabby Shop. My name is Tracy of Not Afraid of Color, and today we're going to make some little gift tags in a box. And I've got all the instructions here, and I'm going to post them in the description box below. But we are going to cut 6 plain pieces of paper, and I've got a little corner chomper for the tops. And then these pattern paper, you're going to need 3 pieces, and you need they need to be a 1/4 inch smaller than the backer paper that I've done here. And I've picked a turquoise paper from my stash. And then you're going to need 6 of the smaller ones and 6 even smaller. Those are for the to and froms on the back. And then I've cut and stamped 7 trucks. So 6 for my tags and 1 for the top of my box. And then I've cut my box parts. So I'm going to set all these aside, and we're going to go to work on the box first. So the set that I'm using here is the September Stamp and Die set of the month, called Pick Me Up, and from Not Too Shabby Shop. And we'll go ahead and get our box going here. So I've got the 2 pieces, and the measurement, let me just say right now, the measurement for the box top is crazy because it calls for 1/16 of inches. But let me just say that it's 13/16 is basically half of 3/4, half more of 3/4. It's tough. I had to use my ruler to measure. Now I get my measurements from a generator, and I'll link it down below, from Sizzix, because I have the new Sizzix cut and score board, but I don't use it really, except for measurements. So I want to cover my top but not the bottom. So I'm gonna select a piece of paper that coordinates with the rest of the papers, and I'm gonna trim those down to size. And so basically they need to be roughly a 1/4 inch smaller than what you have there. And so I cut these down, and honestly on the sides, I basically do an eyeball measurement. So it's basically, these sides are 1/2 inch, so it's a little less, about 1/8 inch less than a 1/2 inch. Yeah, again, we've got math going there. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you how I cut one. First I cut it like this, and then I realized that that particular measurement right there is actually a 1/2 inch. So that's not going to work. See, it's too big. I don't want it all the way to the top because then it'll have a funny edge sticking up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you here what I do. So I'm going to measure how big this is by itself. Okay. And then I'm going to move it a 1/4 inch and then 1/2 of a 1/4 inch. And that'll be the perfect measurement. And I'll cut all the rest that same way. Now what I want to do before I glue those down is I want to go ahead and make my score marks. So I cut up, straight up the score line, and I don't like to burnish my stuff beforehand. I like to burnish it afterwards. And then I'm going to cut a little divot into that so that it doesn't go completely straight across. Otherwise it might scrape on the bottom, so we like to leave a little bit of room. So you see how I'm cutting that little divot, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim these sides down a little bit too, and they don't have to be perfect. And Lord knows my stuff is never perfect, and that's perfectly okay by me. So I'm going straight up that score line and then in a little bit and then snipping off over there to the side. And the same thing on the other side. So we're not actually really cutting anything off, any tabs off. We're leaving little tabs that we can glue the box top together. And now that I have those all cut out, I can go ahead and score or fold and burnish these. Looking for my little burnishy tool here. Here we go. We'll use this one. I've got 3 or 4 of them, of course. I've got a bone folder, but I already carved a divot in it, so it doesn't work as good as I wish. I'll just fold these down and burnish them with my little recollections, probably plastic or maybe Teflon. I don't know. It was gifted to me. All right, that's ready to go. Now we're just going to glue down all of our pieces. And that's going to be the box top. We'll decorate it afterwards. I'm going to put, I have an extra truck that I'm going to put on top. But this ends up perfect for gift cards, ATCs, what have you, because the largest piece is 2.5 by 3.5. I'm just using some liquid glue to glue these down. You could use your tape runner or whatever you have. It's pretty simple. And I'm just kind of using my finger to kind of wipe that down. This glue will dry clear and matte, so I'm not really worried if too much is showing. But maybe it's a better idea to put the glue on the little piece of paper instead of on the panel. So that's what I'm going to do. Just get the other two sides glued down, and then we'll glue the top together and glue the bottom together, and our box will be just about ready. You can make any size box with that generator on Sizzix website. But again, a lot of the measurements are in 16ths, so you're going to have to accommodate your math brain for it. It can happen. A 16th is 1/2 of an eighth, which is 1/2 of a quarter. Yep. Yeah, but the boxes fit perfectly every time, so that's a good thing. And before I became a card maker, that's what I did. I made boxes, but not necessarily these kind of boxes. I used, chipboard and made hard boxes, book boxes and bag boxes and jewelry boxes and boxes. All right, we've got our box top all pretty, ready to go, and we're going to do the same with the bottom, except for I'm not going to put any paper on it because I don't want to take a chance of a tight fit and having the lid push down on my paper. So all I'm going to do is the trimming like you saw me do earlier. And you see I've got a little rough edge on there, and this is the reason that I don't like to use my Sizzix trimmer. It chews my paper, and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong yet. I just haven't had the time to mess with it. It's a brand new blade, but you see that the paper's all chewed up, and I'm going to show you real quick how to remedy that. If that happens to you with any kind of trimmer, what I have is, and I'll get it out in a moment here. Let me finish my cuts. I have this little, this is from Tim Holtz, and it's just a little sanding disc that goes on one of these little ink blender things. And I just sand that off, and it's perfect. So you can always do that if you run into raggeties with your trimmer. We'll go ahead and trim out these other sides. And the bottom of the box is super easy because we don't have to glue anything onto it. Just trim these out. And again, I don't like to burnish mine until after I've done my cuts. See, once you burnish those, then it makes that cut place wider, and it's hard to know where to put the scissors. So if you wait, then you have a smaller margin of exactness of where to put your scissors. So then I'll go ahead and fold and burnish all the sides here. The paper, I don't know if I mentioned, but the paper that I'm using here is from Michael's Recollections. It's 110-pound cardstock, and they come in colors, and I buy it when they have it like buy one, get one, or buy one, get one half off. And then I buy, a couple of new colors until I've got a real nice stock of 110-pound colored paper that I like to use as card bases as well. I particularly love this turquoise color. So I'm just giving this a press so it'll take hold. And I'll glue the other sides, and I'm just putting glue on the tabs. Making sure I get plenty of glue. Anyway, this is nice and small, and it would be a great gift for like a teacher or a co-worker, or, even, a family member that never has enough supplies with the 6 little tags in it. And you might ask yourself, why would I make a 1-inch high box for 6 tags? Well, I'll show you that in a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and color these trucks, and I will color them a little bit on camera and then mostly off camera. And I'm using my Uhuhu markers, but I also end up using some of my Spectrum Noir markers because I just really struggle finding the right colors in what I have that will coordinate well with the paper, because I feel like this color, for instance, is a little bit too orange. Now it dries back some, and they are alcohol markers, and I'll be the first to say I don't have a lot of experience with alcohol markers. I'm working on it. But I'm just kind of blending them all together, the 3 colors. And I mean, it's okay, but again, I feel like it's a little bit on the orangey side. And later on when I'm coloring, I decide to switch out for a blush colored marker. And then I'm using the really light colors for the tree that I kind of want to coordinate with that minty. And again, this one's a little bit too green for my taste. I wanted more of a blue-green. So this one will work out. This one I think is called Mystic Green. And I'm just adding in some shadows in the tree. And then I'll use some of my grays to do the tires and the undercarriage. And then I'll use a super light gray just for the tailgate and the window. And I do end up painting the tail lights with some, what is that called? It's a spray, it's Tim Holtz, it's shiny, it's sparkly, mica stain. So there's the trucks all colored. So I did some blue and I did some in the kind of coral color. And then I used a white pen to highlight, and then I went ahead and used my Nuvo pen to get some sparkle on my trees. And this one, that one tree got a little bit heavy. I don't know what happens sometimes when you first open your Nuvo pen. I should probably prime it first because it just spit out a whole bunch, and I didn't mean for it to do that. But here's me off camera coloring these. I thought that I had my camera off, and I don't know if you've ever done this. Subsequently, when I thought my camera was on, it wasn't on. So the whole me putting together the little tags is all jumbled up, and I do apologize for that, but I certainly am not going to do it over. So we're gonna go with what we got here. And so they're all colored, and there's the little tags. And I tried using my crocodile to get the holes in it, but I just couldn't quite get it centered. But I managed, so that's okay. And so I'm gluing the trucks on to the pattern paper, and then on the back side is where the other tags go. And that's where, if you have a to from stamp, I don't have one, or I have one and I don't know where it is. But they go together in sets like this, and I have this sped up really, really fast. Just getting them all together, and I have some seam binding there that I'm using for ribbon, and there they all are put together. And then this is the lid, so I'll show you how they go in. So we're going to just place the first one in this way, and then we're just going to alternate them. And that way, that 1-inch box suddenly is the perfect height for all of these with their ribbon. And you could use whatever kind of ribbon you want, however fancy you want. I just use what I have. But there's the 6 tags. Fitting perfectly in the box. Now all I have to do is pop up my little truck, and that box is ready to go. And I'm going to use some of these little foam squares to pop it up. And you can add as much decoration as you want to the top of the box. For this, I like to keep it kind of flat because it makes it easier to transport and gift. So it's all, you could wrap a ribbon around it though, and you could put a gift card inside of it with those tags or not. You could put tea bags in there, whatever you want. But I thought the little tags are always handy. People are always needing them, and especially if you are doing custom gifts. And these colors, they're not traditional colors, but any of those tags would look great on a silver package, or a gold package for that matter, but I think silver would be better. So I'm just peeling off these little backers, and then once we place this, we're basically done with the box. We really do appreciate you stopping by to watch our video today. I hope that you enjoyed watching, and I hope that you are inspired to make something similar for yourself. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you really have an awesome day. And don't forget to visit our shop for this and many more papers and stamps and dies and just goodness. Here we go. Here's a little close-up for you. All right. There we are. Don't forget to leave us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.